Hey YouTube, what's up? This is the Reluctant Hobby back again. News and views on the news. Just wanted to shout out to everybody real quick. Havard and Hardu, Gudag, Ola Oi to the Bang, Vasas Los, Bonjour mes amis, Kedu Bawani, Konnichiwa, Ni hao, ni hama, Sani Bonani, Jumbo Habarigani, Assalamu alaikum and Shalom. And to my brother Dwight out in Deutschland. Hey, what's up? Okay, this is what it is right here. Americans in general in today's age are no longer interested in justice, only sides. That's it. Whose side you on? In this, the linchpin of all of this have been the Most High's chosen. At the center of this, we've allowed ourselves to be used, one, by our own behavior, two, by our own alliances. We allied ourselves with everybody but ourselves. And we allied ourselves with one group of media personalities over the other when both perpetrated lies, but we never spoke against the lies on one side, and we saw the deterioration of the black family. We spoke against the lies on the other side. No one that is a melanated person in the United States should have had a problem with any of Trump's statements. I said no one should. I know most will because we've been programmed to hate just like the white people that went to Charlottesville, Virginia. Only we hate ourselves so much that we align ourselves with people that also hate us but will use our numbers. And this is on either side. At no point do we ever speak for ourselves as a people. We're always speaking in the interest of the agenda of the people that are using us. But every once in a while, you have a couple of people that come along and start challenging these media people that say they're speaking for us, when in actuality, they're not speaking for us. The left is not speaking for us. The right told us that they're not. But the right is starting to come around and have some understanding, right? But the right are being represented by people that they're now starting to see, wait a minute, there is some character to these black people. They are not monolithic, and they used to be the most conservative. And as a result of what the left has done using the black woman, understand this. And I'm not saying the black woman is the cause of the behavior of the left. What I'm saying is that's who they use to promote their cause. Remember, I said she's the cause of the destruction of the black community and family because of what she did through abortion. But right here, we're talking about how we have been used for them to actually self destruct. We have a culture where you have a duality where the ultra left and the ultra right do not believe that anyone other than them should have rights. Period. This thing was never meant to be peaceful. Period. The left and the right came with shields and sticks. Period. They came organized to fight. Period. This was the Civil War all over again. Period. But no one involved in this was fighting for any altruistic reasons or for the benefit of us, the melanated people, the Afro-Indigenous people, the Israelite, the black people. No, they had their own agenda by which they use us to promote their agenda. I want y'all to understand something. I have two clips I want you to see. Pay attention, and I have something to say after that.
There's the president in the White House yesterday, once again condemning the violence in Charlottesville on Saturday, this time naming some of the hate groups involved. But that apparently not good enough for some on the political left. Here to discuss is Star Parker, founder and president of the Center for Urban Renewal and Education, joins us from our nation's capital. Star, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Let's start at the beginning. Did you think that the president's comments on Saturday, the day of this particular event, were too vague and not appropriate?
No, actually, I thought they were very appropriate and on point. The point at that point was that the alt-right and the alt-left met in an American city over a very local issue. It escalated into a riot very quickly, and he needed to calm it down before it spread across the country. No, he was exactly on point. There is an alt-right and there is a alt-left, and this war between the two sides has been going on for an awful long time.
You're describing a culture war, Star.
It is a culture war. And when you think about it, David Duke, he thinks that the president is dog whistling him, that we're going to go back to the Confederacy, is just as wrong as the hard left that thinks that this country is not about traditions, limited government, open and free markets, and e pluribus unum, many becoming one, not the multiculturalism and diversity that they keep promoting. No, there is a cultural war, and it is escalating. And so Americans must rally around the fact that we do not want to end up in a civil war.
Right.
We battle in the voting booth. We battled in the voting booth last November. The alt-left lost, and they are pretty upset about it.
The president sent out a couple of tweets yesterday. Here is one of them. Made additional remarks on Charlottesville and realized once again that the fake news media will never be satisfied. Truly bad people. What do you think about that?
I think that there is an alt-left media as well, and its challenge for us is to sort through which is legitimate media, even if they're center-left and they're mainstreamed. When you think about the alt, it is the extreme of both sides. And yes, he is not getting a fair play with the alt-left, because what he was trying to address on Saturday is very different than whether he agrees with people or people group or individuals that voted for him or not. The president did not decide who gets to vote for him. The only place that the president can speak into who does not get to vote is when that voter is illegal, not when it is a legal vote cast. So this left-wing media that has a narrative that they're going to do any and everything to disrupt this presidency, it has to be confronted, and that's what he is doing.
What do you think about Nancy Pelosi, who made this statement yesterday? It shouldn't take the president of the United States 2 days to summon the basic decency to condemn murder and violence by Nazis and white supremacists.
That is not what happened. Nancy Pelosi is exploiting an opportunity that they think will play to their side. On Saturday, there were two sides that were in an American city then it was escalating very rapidly. No, the question became then, well, do you denounce the one part of it? But you know what's really interesting and a really incredible irony here is the same people that are demanding that the Confederate flag comes down are the same people that are insisting that the rainbow flag goes up. These two flags represent the exact same thing, that certain people groups are not welcome here. So if Nancy Pelosi wants to say that we're going to start shutting down First Amendment rights of a certain group of people, then what happens the next time that the homosexuals want to walk through an American city and protest and counter-protesters come out?
All right. Star Parker joining us today from Washington, D.C. Star, thank you very much. What do you think about that? Email us, friends@foxnews.com, about her commentary. Meanwhile.
All right. So he asked, what do we think about that? I want to remind black people, black men, that anytime we come out against homosexuality and say that it is wrong, say that we're not having it in our house, all right, then they come out and say, what's the word? Homophobia. All right. Then they get a bunch of black people to go on MSNBC, CNN, to say that if you disagree with something that the scriptures calls an abomination, that you are homophobic and you don't belong here. Well, the racists say, well, because of the color of your skin, you don't belong here. Now remember, both of these agendas are being pushed by white people who use black people to further their agenda. Black people ain't in charge of the LGBT community. They kidnap Black Lives Matter and use that to promote their community and came against anybody. You couldn't even put up stuff about them on Google and YouTube. Remember, YouTube and Google was banning that. Somebody's choice of who they want to sleep with as the same as racism, as the same as what we went through, black people, through slavery. How did they rise to that level of sameness in this country? White people that wanted to sleep with the same sex never went through anything black chattel slavery. They never went through lynchings. As a matter of fact, they never went through just being identified just by how they look. How they dress, maybe, but not how they look. How they walk, their characteristics, but not how they look. Like their skin color. This is something that is lost on them. When these people were marching, here's the difference. There might be some LGBT members in this line of individual of males. But you can't tell. So even though these people are against it, nobody knows what these people are doing in their own beds. So a member that feel like that they're white men and being oppressed and stuff like that, they can march in this line and you would never be able to tell. If my dark behind went in that line, yeah, there's going to be some problems. It's going to be a beatdown. And trust me, I'll take some of them with me. All right. But they will all know that I don't belong there by my skin color. It's been that way since the U.S. white people came and took over the indigenous black people that were here and brought more black people here from Africa. See, and both the right and left kept us from that true history. Only scientists And archaeologists are starting to dig up that black people were here before the red people. And I hope y'all saw the video where I put that up. All right. This is how crazy this is. So these people understand, wait a minute. Our culture is declining. They are more aware of what the behaviors are doing to their numbers, and they're declining. They understand that they're going to be as extinct as black Americans here because our women are aborting all of our children, and their people, well, they're not having enough children because the LGBT community is rampant, right? And so they see their numbers dwindling, and they can't be the power without those numbers. Because almost everybody is better fighters than them when they have the same weapons or no weapons. They understand this. All right. So now they're afraid.
Scott serves on President Trump's National Diversity Coalition. Pastor Scott, it is lovely to see you. Some people are saying the president was pressured politically to make that second statement yesterday, and that it looked forced. In your opinion, what did you think?
I didn't think he was being pressured politically. I simply think he amended his original statement. When I first heard about it, Katie, on Saturday, I made a statement on behalf of the Diversity Coalition and myself, and I denounced all of the hate groups involved without specifying which ones there were. President Trump did something similar to that. He denounced all the participants in the violence, the protesters and the counter-protesters. It seems as if we're giving these counter-protesters a pass. They came with the intent to incite violence. But, you know,
counter-protesters weren't walking down the street holding Nazi flags, Pastor.
Yeah, but
they weren't saying Jews won't replace us. They weren't using race.
They were walking down the street with pepper spray, and they were walking down the street with homemade flamethrowers. So, Katie, let's not act like they did not go with the intent to shut that protest down by whatever means necessary.
A number of these white nationalists came in armed. They came carrying torches. They said Jews won't replace us. They were carrying Nazi flags. How can you equate the two, Pastor?
I'm not defending them.
But you're equating the two sides.
Listen, we have Ku Klux Klan rallies for the last umpteen years in different American states every year that don't get this attention. They got this attention now because Trump is the president. If Hillary Clinton was the president, this wouldn't have got the attention that it's getting. We had a 1 million man march recently, a year ago, that didn't get any media coverage. In fact, they complained about it simply because it was a peaceful demonstration. The possibility for violence was there in this one. That's why the media intensified it. Let me tell you something. I really think the left-wing media and the white supremacists have a synergistic relationship. They feed off of each other. These white supremacist groups are fringe groups with very low compared to
Okay, that's quite a statement. I'm going to stop you right there. The left-wing media does not feed off white supremacist groups. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Actually, he is white. He is right. The left-wing media has been abysmal in their coverage of this presidency and everything else that went on. They picked little things over Korea, everything that was way more important than a Trump tweet. If he wants to draw attention away from something serious, all he has to do is tweet something ridiculous. The left-wing media, it's all over it. CNN, MSNBC, they are all over that. While in the background, there's some real serious mess going on. Right? Now, here's the thing. The KKK, the Black Panther Party, we all walk down armed. I'm all for being armed. The left want everybody to be unarmed so that then we could be taken over, right? But keep this in mind that there's a lot of us that marched armed. The new Black Panther Party does it too. But nobody gets into fights. There's a lot of yelling, maybe a few scuffles. But let me tell you what I was watching on TV and everything. And I knew some stuff was about to pop off. I watched the left wing and people that tried to use slavery versus people that wanted people to forget slavery versus people that want black people to constantly remember, yeah, we had you as slaves. That's how you got here. Not realizing that there was a lot of indigenous black people that were already here. All right. So, like I said to the brothers and sisters, they've been using black people enough. We need to leave them alone, let they do their own thing, and start galvanizing ourselves, the brothers and sisters, and wait for judgment from the Most High to come. All right. Now, when the dude said that the left came with flamethrowers, that's an armament. The right came with their guns. The left came with flamethrowers. They were all ready to duke it out. If you didn't know any better, you thought this was one of those, what do you call it? Uh, those Renaissance battles. They came ready to fight. They had sticks and everything. They came ready to throw down. All right. So when he made the statement, and that's solid. Now let me just put some perspective on this. Where the right got its permit, it was up on a hill. In order to get through that hill, the people from the right had to go through a gauntlet of people from the left, and the people from the left was tagging them as they was trying to make it to that hill. All right. What the right started to understand is that when they thought that we was going to get up here and just yell with a megaphone and stuff, that was going to be that. The counter protesters said, "Nah, we coming here to beat the crap out of you." Right? And so the right said, "Oh no, we come to beat the crap out of you back." So now you got the battle lines drawn. See, we need to stop being manipulated by any other media. This would be Fox, MSNBC, CNN. None of them are for us. They use us to promote their agenda. We don't have any media anymore. Maybe YouTube and Facebook. Maybe that's how we need to communicate things. Get our version of the stories across. And not only our version, but try to get down to the truth of it all. Some people say there is their side, there are two sides to every story. No, there is only the truth. If somebody wants to pick a side, then they're not interested in the truth. There aren't two sides to every story. There's only the truth. And if you're trying to eke out a side, then you're trying to say that you're trying to lie. Women say this, especially these black women say there's two sides to every story all the time. Your side, his side, and the truth. No, it ain't no yours, her side, his side, and the truth. There is the truth. That's the side. And anybody that is straying away from the truth is lying. So if the dude is telling the truth and the woman is telling her side, she said, well, even though that's the truth, that's his side. Well, that's what you believe. You see how they do that? And so these media people play on this. And some of the times we have to understand and know what the truth is and stick with the truth. Not aside. That's why I don't give a F what people say about my channel. They can't move me from my points because I show people what I'm talking about. Ain't no two sides to this. They both were violent. Then, when that car ran into people, it was a white supremacist. All right. So the white supremacists ended up killing people and maiming people. All right. On Saturday, it could have easily been the other side, the left, because they was beating the crap out of people. They were beating the white supremacists up. The white supremacists was beating them up. So nobody know who was doing what. They all got shields and masks, which means they have pepper spray and flamethrowers. The left had homemade flamethrowers, y'all. So none of the sides meant any good. And no black person should have been a part of it. Because the left stand for homosexuality and all the rest of the stuff that is not a part of human nature. They don't stand for the rights of individuals. They stand to promote certain rights over the others. Wow, they are the same as the racist white who asserts to promote certain rights of individuals over the other. Think about that for a moment. All right, brothers and sisters, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment when you subscribe, and please share. When you subscribe, click the notification bell. Let's get the thumbs up. And my donation link and email will be in the description box. And y'all know what time it is. Look out for yourself and your family and your home first. And if you have some abundance, hey, put it to good use.